Okay, so this is the type of area that we're going to want to use a compass and a rangefinder for. The reason is, as you can see, there's a lot of interesting terrain. Some of it's dangerous. There's a creek down here. We really don't want to be slogging back and forth across the creek. And if what you want to do is you want to build a model of woody debris that's in a stream, or you've got a canyon and you want to map where trees and other features are around the canyon, you don't want to have to take your GPS and walk over to every one. In fact, you're going to have problems with accuracy because at 3 to 10 meters for recreational grade GPS, you're going to capture some of these features and they're going to be way off from where the stream actually is. Okay, and so this is exactly the reason we want to learn to use a compass and a rangefinder. They'll actually be more accurate in a small area like this to capture what's going on than a recreational grade GPS. Okay, to get started, one of the things we want to make sure we do again is capture a benchmark. So this bench or the corner of this concrete, again, are going to be very visible. Okay, in our GIS on the backgrounds, we're going to be able to see that. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab a couple waypoints. It's 136 and 137. So I'm going to record those. And there's our benchmarks. Okay, so we've got our laser rangefinder, and these are really easy to use. There's different ones are going to have different ways of using them. Some are much more complicated. They should have a user's manual with them, so go ahead and check if it doesn't work the way this one does. All you need to do is hold on the power until it comes on, okay? And then really easy to use, we just look through it. There's a crosshair. Make sure your crosshair is on the right object that you want to measure a distance to, and then hold down both buttons until it has a reading, and there's our reading. Now there's a number of different readings here. What we want is the horizontal distance. Okay, the main distance is to our point, but that's going to be at an angle. We want the horizontal distance, and then if you want to get height, like you want to measure the height of a tree, you can use that as well, but it's really the horizontal distance, which here is 16.4 meters. So that's what we're looking for. Okay, now we've got our compass. Okay, we want to get an angle from our benchmark to our first tree. So I'm going to flip it open, put this out of the way if it has it. Now, some folks set up declination. I don't worry about that until I'm back in front of the computer where I can deal with declination. So I've just got it set to north being 0 degrees. We flip this up. This is our target. And then what I'm going to do, so I'm going to go ahead and line it up. There's a slot here. I want to take that line and have it in the middle of that slot and right at the thing that we're shooting at. Now I like these compasses because once I have it lined up, all I have to do is move my eye down and I can read the compass heading through this little lens right here, which actually magnifies it to make it easy to read. Okay, so I'm going to line it up, move down, and I've got 320 degrees. Okay, let's do it again. Really make sure I've got it. I think 324 is better. Okay, so that's 324 for our angle. For this exercise, what I want you to do is to start with a benchmark and then take a number of compass and rangefinder and GPS coordinates to move from one tree to the next as we go down into Arcata Forest. Okay, now you can do this somewhere else, but we want to have some good tree cover. We're going to see how that affects our GPS coordinates. Okay? And you want to be a little careful about this because if you notice, I've got this smaller tree in way of that bigger tree. I want the bigger tree. We got to be careful with our rangefinder, right? Because if we hit this one, we're going to get a much shorter distance. It's going to be wrong. And then we get back to the computer, we're going to compare how our results look. Okay? So I want to make sure with my rangefinder and my compass I hit that tree. Now, we're going to be taking a rangefinder reading for distance, an angle with our compass, writing things down. There's a lot of stuff here, right? Oh, and the GPS, right? And getting a coordinate. So this is where it's good to do this with at least 2, even 3 people. If you do that, that's great, but go ahead and change it up so everybody gets a chance to work with each of the different tools. After you've worked your way into Arcata Forest, okay, now we're inside of our canyon. We've got our creek with all the woody debris on it we want to shoot. Now we can just have one place, take a GPS coordinate here, okay? Maybe use this nice big tree as our benchmark, okay? And then from here, we can shoot first with our rangefinder, all the trees, woody debris that we want to record, and our compass. Write each of those down, maybe even take a photograph with a cell phone or a camera of each of the different features that we shot. Make sure to make some good notes. When you go back to the computer, you'll be able to figure out what's what. Okay, so once we have that, we'll be able to make a map of this area as well as our trip into the forest.